Cole Hartman had lived most of his life on the open land of Arizona, where the sky looked endless and the wind carried the scent of dust, sage, and sun-baked earth. People in his small town often said he was a man made of calm silence. He did his work well, treated others kindly, and never looked for trouble. He lived with steady hands and a thoughtful mind. But behind his quiet eyes was something he rarely shared, an old sadness he carried like a shadow. Cole never spoke about it, not even to the people who trusted him the most. Most mornings he rode across the ranch lands before sunrise. The golden light painted his hat and shoulders while his horse moved gently beneath him. Cole liked these hours best. Out here, the world felt peaceful. Out here, no one asked him to explain why he avoided happiness or why he looked away whenever someone mentioned love. One warm afternoon, after finishing a cattle delivery, Cole rode along a narrow trail that cut between tall rocks and scattered desert trees. He was tired, dusty, and eager to get home before nightfall. But the land ahead wasn't quiet like usual. His horse lifted its head, ears twitching toward a faint sound, something soft, like a gasp carried by the wind. Cole slowed. The sound came again, fragile and shaky, but not fearful, more like someone calling for help without raising their voice. He guided his horse toward it, careful and calm, not wanting to startle whoever was there. Just around a bend, he saw a young woman sitting on the ground beside a fallen bundle of herbs and wrapped medicines. She had long, dark hair, braided neatly with beads that caught the sunlight. Her traditional dress carried the colors of her Apache people, earth tones mixed with peaceful blues. She looked up at him, her eyes wide from surprise, not fear. Cole dismounted slowly so she could see he meant no harm. "Are you all right, ma'am?" he asked gently. "Yes," she said after catching her breath. "I slipped while walking. My ankle feels a little weak." Cole nodded, offering a kind smile. He saw no injuries, only discomfort, and he didn't want her to struggle alone. "Would you like some help standing?" She hesitated for a moment, studying him, perhaps making sure his intentions were honest. Something in Cole's steady eyes made her nod. He helped her rise carefully, making sure not to disturb her personal space more than necessary. Once she stood, she balanced herself and tested her ankle. "It's better now," she said softly. "Thank you. My pleasure," Cole replied. "I was passing through anyway." She gathered her herbs and medicines, but her hands trembled slightly from the earlier shock. Cole noticed and kneeled to help pick up the bundles. "You don't have to," she began. "I know," he said kindly, "but I'd like to." When everything was packed again, she introduced herself. "My name is Nayli. I'm taking these medicines to my grandmother on the reservation." "Cole Hartman," he replied, touching the brim of his hat politely. "Nice to meet you." Their meeting might have ended there, but fate seemed to have other plans. Nayli tried to take a step forward, and her ankle wobbled again. Cole offered his arm, not insisting, simply waiting. She accepted it this time, letting him support her as they walked a few feet to a smoother part of the trail. "It's a long walk in this heat," Cole said. "If you like, I can ride with you part of the way, just until you feel steady again." Nayli studied him again, searching for any sign of pride or hidden motives. But Cole was a simple man, honest and respectful. Finally, she nodded. "I would appreciate that." They walked slowly beside his horse, sharing quiet moments between small conversations. Nayli told him about her work as a healer, how she traveled between different communities, carrying medicines, herbs, and stories taught by her elders. Cole listened closely, fascinated by the way she spoke with grace and purpose. "And you?" she asked gently. "What is your life like?" "Simple," he replied with a half smile. "I work cattle, mend fences, try not to get sunburned." Nayli laughed softly, a warm, smooth sound that made something inside Cole settle in a pleasant way. She had a calming presence, like a gentle river flowing slowly, but with strength beneath the surface. As they continued, Cole noticed her ankle improving. She walked with more confidence, and soon she no longer needed his support. But neither of them spoke about parting ways yet. The trail felt easier with company, and the silence between them felt comfortable, not awkward. The sun dipped lower, spreading orange colors across the sky. They reached a wider part of the trail where the land opened out toward a distant cluster of trees. Nayli stopped and looked toward the horizon. "My path goes that way," she said, pointing. "Your home must be in the other direction." Cole nodded slowly. He knew he should leave, let her continue on her journey, respect her space and traditions. But something about her made him want to stay a little longer. She stood tall, even with her ankles still recovering, graceful, confident, and kind. He admired her courage, traveling alone to help her family. She admired his willingness to help a stranger without expecting anything in return. Before they parted, Nellie opened a small cloth pouch and pulled out a tiny bundle of dried leaves. "This is for you," she said. "A small thank you. These herbs help with tired muscles. You work hard every day. They may be useful." Cole accepted the gift with deep respect. "Thank you. I'll take good care of it." Their hands brushed gently as she placed it in his palm, just a small touch, but warm enough to stir something surprisingly deep inside both of them. For a moment, they simply looked at each other. No words, just understanding, soft, quiet, and real. Cole finally spoke. "If you ever pass my way again, and you need a safe place to rest, you're welcome. I don't live far." Nellie gave a small, grateful smile. "I will remember." They parted with calm hearts, but as Cole mounted his horse, he felt a strange tug inside him, as if a part of him didn't want to ride away. Nellie watched him for a moment before turning toward her path, walking with new steadiness. The wind lifted her braid, and the fading sunlight touched her like a warm blessing. Cole rode slowly at first, glancing back even when he knew he shouldn't. Something about her felt important, like meeting her was meant for a reason he didn't yet understand. In the days that followed, he found himself thinking about Nellie more often than he expected. He remembered her calm voice, her brave spirit, her gentle hands as she gathered her herbs. He remembered the way she listened to him, the way she smiled softly, the way her presence eased the weight he usually carried in silence. But he also remembered the invisible distance between their worlds, the tradition she honored, the quiet loneliness he lived in, the boundaries that people in both their communities would never overlook. His heart felt lighter when he thought of her, yet heavier too, because he sensed that someone like Nellie could change a man's life without even trying. Nellie, meanwhile, reached her grandmother's home safely. She spoke of the helpful cowboy she met on the trail. She didn't say much, just a simple explanation of kindness received and kindness given in return. But her grandmother, wise with age, smiled knowingly. She could see the quiet glow in Nellie's eyes, the kind that only appeared when someone truly touched her spirit. Over the next week, Nellie often found her thoughts drifting toward the man with the steady voice and gentle manners. She wondered if she'd ever see him again. She wondered why their short meeting felt like something that might shape the future. Even though she didn't know how, both of them returned to their daily lives. Yet something new lingered, a soft thread connecting their hearts across the open land. Neither knew what destiny would bring next. Neither knew how deeply this simple meeting would change them. But the desert wind already knew, and it carried their stories forward, toward a future where hearts would meet again, not by chance this time, but by something far stronger. Cole tried to return to his routine, but his days no longer felt the same. Every sunrise brought the memory of a soft voice, a calm smile, and the warmth of a hand that brushed his only for a moment. He didn't tell anyone about Nellie, not because he wanted to hide her, but because the memory felt too precious to speak out loud. It was something he held quietly inside his heart, like a rare treasure. A week passed, then another. Sometimes, while repairing a fence or guiding cattle across the open field, he found his thoughts drifting toward the narrow trail where they first met. He wondered where she was, if she was safe, if her grandmother had recovered, if she still remembered the cowboy who helped her for only a short time. He didn't expect to see her again. He hoped, but he didn't expect. Then one cool morning, when the sun had just touched the tops of the hills, Cole was riding along the same trail. He wasn't looking for anything, just following the quiet path his horse knew by heart. As he rounded the familiar bend, he saw a figure standing near the rocks, a braid, earth-tone clothing, A calm posture he recognized instantly. Nayeli. She smiled softly when she saw him, as if she had hoped for this moment too. Cole felt his heart lift in a way he hadn't felt in years. "You're back," he said quietly, stopping his horse beside her. "I wanted to thank you again," she replied. "And I wanted to see if you were doing well." Cole dismounted, taking slow steps toward her. "I'm doing better than I was. It's good to see you again." They walked together along the trail, talking about small things: the weather, the animals she cared for, the peaceful stories her grandmother shared. Cole told her about the ranch work and the sunsets he watched alone each evening. Those conversations felt easy, simple, and comforting. They weren't trying to impress each other. They were just two people enjoying a connection neither expected. As they walked, Nayeli paused near a patch of desert flowers. "Cole," she said softly, "may I ask you something?" He nodded. Double quotes. "Why do you live with so much distance in your eyes? You help others, you work hard, but there is something you carry inside that keeps you apart from people." Cole looked down at the dusty ground. He hadn't expected her to notice so quickly. "I suppose I've been afraid of getting close again," he admitted. "I lost someone I cared about a long time ago. Since then, I kept my world small." Nayeli didn't push for details. She respected silence when it was needed. "Sometimes," she said gently, "we carry old hurts so tightly that we don't see the new paths being offered to us." Her words warmed him and unsettled him at the same time. She saw him more clearly than anyone had in years. They spent the afternoon wandering the trail, sharing thoughts they usually kept hidden. Cole found himself wanting to tell her everything: his fears, his hopes, the quiet ache he lived with. And Nayeli felt something rise in her heart too, something gentle and unspoken. But as the sun lowered, the world around them changed. Nayeli grew thoughtful, her gaze turning toward the distance where her community lived. "Cole," she said, "when people from different worlds walk together, others do not always approve. I did not know how my people would feel if they saw me with you, and I did not know how your town would feel if they saw you with me." Cole already knew this. The line that stood between their communities was old and quiet, but still present. People weren't unkind, but traditions were strong. And the fear of misunderstanding often kept people from crossing those invisible boundaries. He felt his heart tighten. "I don't ever want to cause trouble for you," he said honestly. "You haven't," she replied. "But I must think of my family and their wishes. And you must think of yours." Cole wanted to tell her that he didn't care about boundaries, that he would follow her anywhere. But he knew that wasn't fair, not to her, not to her family, and not to the responsibility she carried. They stopped walking. The sky glowed with soft pink light. "I do care about you, Cole," Nayeli said in a quiet voice. "Deeply. You showed me kindness when I was alone, and your heart is gentle. But I cannot walk beside you with half-truths or hidden fears. If we are to continue this path together, both of us must be brave in ways that go beyond the trail." Cole looked at her, feeling something shift inside him, an ache mixed with longing. "I care about you too, more than I expected to. But I'm afraid." "Of what?" she asked. "That the people around us will not understand. That I will bring difficulty into your life. That I will lose someone again." Nayeli stepped closer, her eyes calm and warm. "Courage and love is not louder than fear. It is simply choosing to keep walking despite it." Her words touched the deepest part of him. But Cole's old grief had strong roots, and he wasn't ready to let go of it so easily. He felt the weight of responsibility pressing on him, the fear that caring for her might harm her reputation or her peace. He loved her too softly to risk causing her pain, so he made a choice he hoped would protect her. The next morning, he went to the trail early, knowing she often passed that way. She appeared with her basket of herbs, smiling gently when she saw him. But Cole's expression was different, quiet, guarded, and heavy. "Nayeli," he said, "I need to speak with you." Her smile faded slightly. Sensing the change, "I've thought about what you said," he began, "and I believe the best thing, the safest thing is for me to step back." She lowered her eyes, a soft breath escaping her. "For your sake or mine?" "For yours," he whispered. "I don't want you to face any challenges because of me. Your world is rich, full of tradition and respect. I'm just a cowboy with a quiet life and a past that won't let me rest, Cole. Her voice trembled gently, not from anger, but from sadness. Is this truly what you want? Or is it what you fear? He could not meet her eyes. I don't want to bring sorrow to you. So yes, this is what I choose. Nellie stood in silence, her heart aching. She knew he wasn't rejecting her. He was trying to protect her in the only way he understood. But love needs presence, not distance. And she could not make him stay if he believed he was doing the right thing by leaving. If this is your decision, she said softly, I will respect it. They stood facing each other, the space between them filled with unspoken feelings. Cole wished he could take back his words. Nellie wished he could see that fear should not guide love, but the moment had already passed. She touched his hand gently, one last gesture of gratitude, affection, and farewell. May the path ahead of you be peaceful, Cole Hartman. You showed me kindness I will never forget, and you, he replied quietly, showed me light I didn't know I needed. Then she turned away and walked toward the distant trees. Cole watched her go until her figure disappeared behind the desert landscape. From that day forward, Cole returned to his quiet life, but the fields felt emptier. The sunsets felt lonelier. He carried Nellie's memory carefully, like a soft ache he never tried to cure. He knew he had let go of something rare not because it was wrong, but because he believed it was right for her. Nellie went back to her community with a heavy heart. She continued her healing work with dedication. But sometimes, when the wind brushed past her, she remembered the cowboy on the trail, the man who saved her without harming anyone, who cared deeply, who feared deeply, and who loved without claiming. They never met again, but both carried the memory like a gentle echo, one that shaped them quietly, reminding them of a connection that came from kindness, trust, and a brief moment where two worlds met. Cole saved her. She touched his heart. And though their paths separated, the story lived on, soft, meaningful, unforgettable.